welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I'm a 36-year-old working mum of 4. And I'm tanned and tired, Hans. I have just got back from the most incredible dream trip. We took our children to Florida, and if you've been following on this, you would have seen all the vlogs and all of the chats and all of the budget talk. Now, I did a video before we left talking about how much we were planning on spending. I've done a couple of videos on money. I've done how much the whole holiday costs and how much we spent, all super transparent. And then I also did a video on like how much we were saving for spending money and planning to spend. And I overcomplicated it in true Jess style with just like tiers and like silver tier, bronze tier, gold tier, all of that jazz. But if you want to watch it, I will link it up here so you can see it. But I've been sharing all of the things and now we are back. I want to review what we actually spent when we were there, which then I think gives a real total cost of how much the whole thing was, because you can plan for all of these things but you never truly know how much things might be until you get there. So let's do a comparison of all of our spending and find out if we came under budget. If you've never seen a video of mine and this is the first you're landing on, then hello. My content isn't normally just all about Florida, I promise. I've got loads more other vlogs and things that I talk about, but it has just been a massive part of our life because we took 2 years to save for it, took our children there, and so it's been a huge part of everything that we have done and talked about over the last few months. However, once these budget videos and vlogs are out of the way, and I'm going to do a haul video because I did a lot of shopping, which you'll see in the budget, then we're back to normality where I will just be doing everyday things, talking about life as a working mum of 4 and all of the things that come with it. Kids, chaos, confidence, cake. They are my 4 C's and all the things that I talk about. I mean, I don't bake cakes, I just eat cake, but you kind of get my drift. So if you like that sort of thing and want to be part of this community, then please do join me. Please do like and subscribe. I would be forever grateful. I'm loving being back on YouTube. I would love that. Anyway, let's talk about what you actually came to listen about. Let's talk about money, honey. Okay, if you saw the original video, I talked about the tiers that we had for spending. Now, we did manage to save up for the gold tier, which was like basically the yes holiday that we wanted, all of the things we wanted to buy, all the things we wanted to do, and that total came to £6,483. Now, I'm going to move over down here and put up here the spreadsheet of what we budgeted and then talk through the breakdown of how we managed to work that out. I then adjusted the budget slightly and I will explain why, and then let's actually look at how much we spent. So let's shimmy on over here. Let's get into the figures. So I split the total budget into 5 different categories. So we had food and drink, pretty self-explanatory. That was going out for dinner, that was food shopping, anything that related to us eating or drinking. Shopping, which was going to just buying things, I want to say for the sake of it, but just shopping. So going to the outlets, beauty items, doing those Target runs, buying all the things that I don't necessarily need, but I wanted. So a bit of shopping, which in that original video, I think I say as well, like, oh, we don't really need much, so we're not going to do much shopping. Okay. Days out. So this was including anything that wasn't related to a Disney or Universal park because we'd already had those tickets separate and they came out of our like hard costs, like holiday budget. So we planned to go to Gatorland, a few little things like that. So that was kind of the main bit for this portion of money. Treats and extras, which was things like ice creams in the park, getting snacks in the park, buying little treats and anything we basically wanted on park days specifically. That was where that budget came from. And then travel, so fuel and parking. You do have to pay for parking, even though you paid a gajillion pounds for your park tickets. It's $35 a day. So parking, fuel, and then any ad hoc travel things that we might have needed if we got a taxi somewhere, anything related to travel. So all of those things came to £6,483. Now, I've adjusted the budget, as you'll see, there's like an adjusted column, and the only one that's actually changed, well, there's 2, is shopping and treats and extras. And the reason for that is when I originally did the budget, I had gift shop purchases. If you've seen the video, there was like a line for gift shop purchases, which are for the children in the gift shops. And I said they were all going to have $100 each for the whole trip. Anyway, I actually ended up moving that budget to the treats and extras. So everything we bought in the parks came under treats and extras. So when we went to the gift shop, when we bought a random toy, when Isabella bought a fart machine from the Minion shop, like honestly, all of that stuff. Rather than have a separate budget, because the gift shop budget I had came out of shopping, I actually put it in treats and extras and just collated the $100 each per child that I'd accounted for and put it in treats and extras, and then had that slightly bigger budget for all of those things. So basically anything we bought in a park. Let's get into these figures. So for food, we spent a total of £1,976.40. Spent less than I thought we were going to spend on food, and I think that's because we didn't eat out as much as we thought we were going to. Now, when I did the original video, I said if we eat out, it's going to be about like £100-120 for all of us to eat plus tips. But we didn't actually eat out that much because one, the kids aren't really massive restaurant fans. Two, we just found after park days we were so shattered, just going to a drive-through was so much easier. And three, I did actually more cooking in the villa than I thought I would, and I didn't mind that. Even though we'd saved up enough to go out more to eat, we actually didn't mind eating. Like I made a spag bowl one week, we had a barbecue with our friends, like it just ended up working out slightly cheaper. We went to Costco and bought a bunch of steaks and meat, and I think we paid like $60 for all these steaks for 6 adults and 4 children. We bought like trays of these like huge steaks. If we'd gone out for dinner, we were probably looking at $60 each. So even our friends were just more than happy to have stuff like that versus going out to eat. And that came £883.60 under what we'd budgeted for, which I'm really happy with. And Lord knows I needed it, because on the next one, oh gosh. Now, one other thing I will say is Olive Garden was my favourite place to eat out. I loved the pasta there. It was so good. And I also just added onto this like $100 miscellaneous, because we bought so many big gulps, and Trevor loved a racetrack coffee, but they were only $2. But he used to go all the time and was just paying cash and never got receipts, so I didn't have anything to track it with. So I did add $100 ad hoc, just to really give a true reflection of what we spent, because although we didn't have the receipt, I know we'd bought a bunch of drinks. So give or take a few dollars, that is the closest we were going to get to exactly how much we spent. Because this next bit, £500. I don't even want to type what we actually spent. Okay, so we went to the outlets, right? And when I did this video, even when I went shopping, I was like, we don't really need much. I did end up buying a few bits, because like Theo actually needed some Crocs when we were there, and there was a few other ad hoc bits that we definitely needed to get. We spent on shopping, so this is clothes, beauty, all the things, just shopping, literally shopping trips. £1,793.47. I'm horrified. We spent £1,293.47 over budget. I can't even really blame. Actually, I might blame Trevor a little bit. He has really bad problems with his feet, and friends of ours were like, you need to get Skechers, you need to get like some proper shoes for your feet, because these are just hurting your feet all day. We're going to do so much walking. So Trevor went to Skechers and did end up buying like 3 or 4 pairs of trainers. But his feet, oh my gosh, he was like bouncing like a rabbit the rest of the holiday, because he found these really comfortable shoes. But I did some damage. I went to the Nike outlet, and I had 3 of the 4 kids with me. And anybody who knows shopping with children, this is me just making excuses, but I just basically blacked out and crashed out and just was chucking things. And they had such a good sale. And I'm going to do a haul video, because I need to show you some of the bargains I got. Like I got a hoodie and a whole set that was probably worth about $230 for like $70. So I got so much stuff. Anyway, I'll do a haul video to show you where I spent all that money. But I did do some damage in that category. Another thing I did do, which I wasn't sure where to put it under, but I actually put it under shopping, was just before we left, I did a big shop at Target, and I bought quite a lot of food items, but it was food that we were bringing home, like items that we can't get in the UK and stuff. But to me, that was still shopping, because it wasn't like food and drink that we had on holiday. It was gifts and stuff we were bringing back. That also does include gifts that we bought people, and anyway, I'm trying to justify it. that is it was Let's move on. Right, next category is days out, and my biggest regret is going to be that we did not go to Gatorland. And part of that is because the last few days of the holiday we had no plans. Our park tickets had all run out, so we weren't going to parks. We kind of had villa days and stuff, but what we ended up doing is on the last day of the holiday we were like, we'll go on the last day because it's about 15 minutes from the airport. We don't have to be back at the airport till like 6-7 p.m. and we need time to kill. It makes more sense, like let's do it that day. We had incredible weather every single day until that last day. That last day it poured with rain all day, which meant that going to Gatorland was just not really an option. I mean, it's open and it's fine, but we were all been packed. We would have been wearing our airport clothes. We were like, it's not a thing. Plus we asked the kids what they wanted to do, and instead they wanted to go to Dieselland. Now if you've not been to Dieselland, it's like a massive arcade, like indoor arcade. It's got like go-karting and a classic car showroom. It's like the most random place. So we ended up going there, and all I paid was $100 for like a card. It was like a play card, and then you could use that in like the arcade or to do bowling, or to like, you basically top it up and then use that for the activities inside. And I just did $100 on that. So we'd actually budgeted £415 for days out, which was the tickets for Gatorland and then the zip line in Gatorland. But we actually only ended up spending £77.34. So we came significantly under budget there by £337.66, which again we're glad for because we'd already over budgeted quite significantly on the shopping section. We did do other days out. We went to the beach and stuff, but I didn't include it in this because all we had was parking costs, like that was it. And I took packed lunches and stuff, and then we bought ice creams, which kind of came under food and drink. So we didn't spend much at all outside of that. Anyway, moving on to the next bit, treats and extras. Now this budget has obviously increased because we took out the money from the shopping budget that we'd allocated for those gift shop purchases, which I think was about £296 in total, which was $400, and put that into this budget. So it is slightly more. Now this included basically anything we bought in a park. So we bought the kids, like honestly, we just got mugged off basically by the kids the whole time. We just got mugged off because if they asked for something in a gift shop, we bought it. What we did say to them though is if they saw something early in the day, they'd have to still want it at the end of the day for us to go back and buy it, and that's what we did. And sometimes they didn't remember this thing, or they were like, oh, I don't want that anymore, and that was fine. But for the most part there were times where they were like, Mummy, remember you said you were going to get me that Spider-Man blaster? And we were like, we did some damage here because we did buy quite a lot of things. This also included things like themed food and stuff that we bought in the parks that didn't come under food and drink. So if we bought things like the beignets that I wanted in Magic Kingdom, or like Mickey donuts, Mickey ice creams, that sort of thing, that all came under treats and extras. So basically all of our park day spending came under here. And we spent a total of £1,460.44, which miraculously came under budget by £527.56. And I'm really surprised by that because it was very expensive. Like the things in the gift shops were expensive. I mean, they're always going to be expensive, right? When you go to any sort of day out, the gift shop is really expensive. But I'm talking like this thing, I don't know why it's on my desk. This thing, I don't even know where the other half of it is, but it came with like a character. I think it was from Mario Land, and it was $55. But that also included the bubble ones, which if you've watched my vlogs, you'll know I regret buying massively because the kids love them, but they make this weird noise. Anyway, that was all of the spending there. I am surprised we came under budget, but glad we came under budget. But we didn't say no to anything, and it felt really nice to be able to do that. Now, getting the kids back into being told no now. The other thing I did buy on treats and extras, which I've included here, was a photo pass. And I kind of didn't really know what category to put it under, but because it was park related, I just put it under here. And it was £199, which was about $240 odd. And that basically meant that I could download all of the photos that they took around the parks at Magic Kingdom for our family. And as soon as I did that, I totally regretted not taking more photos throughout the day because we had so many photo points that we just missed, or we weren't paying attention, or we were like, oh, we'll go back to it later. We never did. But all the character meets that we did, I wanted the professional photos for, and so I did pay for that, and that came out of that budget. I just wasn't sure where else it would sit, but it felt right to be in that budget. So that kind of bumped up the spending in total, but I don't regret it because the pictures are just, I love them so much, and I'm so glad I got them. So the last category I have is travel, which is fuel, parking, taxis, anything like that. Now, fuel, I just want to talk about for a second. So this is, I know it's circumstantial. I know it depends on where you live, what you're used to paying, but we found the fuel costs so much cheaper than in the UK. So we are used to paying just over £100 to fill up our car. We've just got a 7-seater, like it's a really old car. I think it's 2014, like it's not a new car or anything like that, and we're used to paying just over £100 to fill it. We had a Chrysler Pacifica, which was quite a new car. It was absolutely gorgeous, we loved it, like 7-seater, huge, and it was like $69 to $73 to fill up depending on where you went, which is about 50 to 60 quid. And that was so shocking to us because it was like half the cost to what we pay at home. So I'd budgeted like £100 a week for fuel, but we were paying half that, which I'm really happy with. I appreciate if you're in America now and you're paying less than that and it's gone up significantly, it's still justified, like, to say that the prices are high because it's all relative. But for us personally, we just found it so much cheaper than at home. The other thing was parking. Now, parking, I did talk about this before because we budgeted it specifically. It's $35 per day per park, depending on where you go. So if you've ever been before, Universal Islands Adventure and Studios is in the same place. You literally just walk from one to the other, or get the Hogwarts train, but they're in the same place, and City Walk. So if you pay for parking that day, it's the same car park. If you leave and come back, if you've paid for that day, you can show your receipt and park up again. You don't have to pay twice. That was quite good, but it was still really expensive. We also then paid for parking at the beach, which was about $33. So all in all for travel, we spent £459.94, which I was really happy with. I did spend on one Uber because we'd gone out for a meal. I think we went to IHOP, and JJ hated it. It was loud. There were so many people. We'd forgotten his ear defenders, which was just a massive fail on our part. And so I ended up leaving with just him in an Uber and going back to the villa and letting Trev stay with the other kids so that they could enjoy their meal, but take him away from a scenario that he's really unhappy in, rather than kind of, it's not fair to let everybody leave, but it also wasn't fair to make him stay. So we just divided and conquered, and I left with him, and I think it was about $12 for an Uber back to our villa because we weren't that far. We were £260.06 under budget, which again, we were under budget in basically every single category apart from shopping. So if I hadn't blacked out in the outlets, we would have done so well. But it's fine. It was a dream holiday. I do not regret a single purchase apart from the fart machine. And so I'm really happy with that. So in total, we actually spent £715.41 less than we'd budgeted, and spent a total of £5,767.59. I'm really happy with that. And what this has probably taught me is that we could have done it for significantly less. For us, this was a yes holiday, right? This was the holiday that we wanted to just say yes to everything, and kind of was really like dream, do everything we want to do, like have no regrets sort of holiday. And so yes, there's a significant amount of spending on there that we probably could have done without, but that wasn't the purpose of this. This was like for us to just do whatever we wanted to do, and I feel so grateful and happy that we've got the opportunity to do that. But it has also shown me that we could go back and spend less, or be stricter on our budget, or not have that, particularly if you've got older kids. I think when the kids are older, we'll probably do far less of the, like, you know, buying all the toys in the gift shops and stuff, because they're probably not going to want some of that stuff. We're even planning now for 2028, and yes, I've already written up a budget accordingly. I feel like we prepared for it well and had thought about every eventuality apart from the shopping piece. I know I keep going on about that, but apart from that, I feel like we planned accordingly. Like, I really tried to think, like, what are we going to spend it on? How much is that going to be? What's that going to look like? Things like the parking, really planning ahead. And I feel like it meant that we could have the holiday that we wanted without thinking too much about spending. There was a point right at the end where we wanted to go to Animal Kingdom and we didn't have tickets for it. We were like, shall we just buy a day ticket? Shall we just go? And it was like $1,200, which I think is about £900. And we were like this close to just being like, yeah, forget it, let's just do it, we're on holiday. And I just was like, I really had to refrain. And I thought, wait, we can spend this money, and yes, it is a yes holiday and we want to do it, but also what are the repercussions of that when we get back? I'm probably going to have to put that one purchase on my credit card. Is that money that we're about to spend better served actually being put away for the next trip or for the next holiday or to do something else? And yes, I know that kind of contradicts the whole we're going to do everything we want and it's a yes holiday, but that was really a point where I was like, I need to check myself here. And we made the wiser decision, which was we're not going to go, we want to come back, let's do it when we come back, let's put it towards that and make that holiday like even more elevated than this one and even bigger than this one. That is it. We came under, can you believe it? Can you believe it? I came under budget. I can't believe it. I'm genuinely shocked, but really, really pleased. So that is our spending. Of course, if you've got any questions or you're like, what did you spend here, or what did this cost, or you want a bit more of a breakdown, comment or message me and I'll be happy to come back. But I hope that gives you a better idea as to how much it does cost, or like what you could potentially be saving. I do think not eating out made a massive difference, and takeaways were significantly cheaper, like drive-throughs and takeouts. Like Raising Cane's was like $40 for all of us to eat because the portions were so big and we'd share a lot and stuff like that. So $40 over the $100 odd that I thought we were going to spend was significantly different, and cooking and all of that stuff. And it'll be different if you're in a hotel, it'll be different if you haven't got a kitchen, it'll be different if you're not with friends. There are so many things that play into that, but for us, this was, I couldn't have really asked for better, to be honest. And I feel really proud that I prepared accordingly. And yes, it's a bit neurotic, and yes, it's a bit silly to some and a bit extra. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I honestly appreciate every view, every comment, every like, and you just being here. Let me know what you think. Thank you again for tuning in, and till the next video. See you soon. Bye.